This was supposed to be a more positive story, but it's low-key turned negative. Low-key turned negative. So, one of the OGs got back into streaming, y'all. One of the OGs got back into streaming, and his name is Solluminati. So a couple days ago, Soluminati made his return to not only content creation, but specifically streaming. I have heard so many creators, specifically in the WL space, attribute a lot of their inspiration to Soluminati when he was streaming. And after 5 years of not streaming on Twitch, he has decided to make his return. And I was there for the first stream, actually. Just to check out the numbers. You know, when events like this happen, I just like to tune in and see what the vibe is, see what the conversation is, what everyone is talking about. And in his first stream, Solluminati, after being very on and off with content creation, I think the last time he uploaded was like 4 or 5 months ago, right? Specifically on Twitch. He hasn't streamed in 5 years. Last time was 2020. Came out the gate with 8,000 to 9,000 people watching. That's crazy. That alone is insane. Right? Very first stream, Kai Cenat already gifting 100 subs. I seen Aiden Ross gift 50 himself. I seen who was it? I think DDG even gifted another 50 himself. Like, a lot of people were talking about it on the timeline that, you know, one of the OGs is back. One of the OGs is back. Big So's back. Right? One of the most influential figures within the 2K space, within the WL space, is back streaming. And it's looking like he's going to be doing it on a much more regular basis. And for those who don't know about Solluminati and how he talks and the content that he makes, had a lot of interesting things to say. Mind you, this is the same dude who took like a Kyrie Irving type of pivot with his content, with spiritual soul, right? He's also a person that has been pretty loud about not being on the internet as much recently. And I just think a lot of his takes were very interesting because, as me and you, as let's keep it a stack, a lot of people watching this, I would consider myself a chronically online person. Seeing and having conversations with people who are not chronically online is so interesting and oftentimes funny. Because I feel like as chronically online people, there's certain takes that are just common to hear. You know, it's common to think why you think the way that you do. But for non-chronically online people, like, these people feel like we're legitimately talking about things in a different language. Right? So let's just see some of these clips from Solluminati right here.
Y'all doing all type of shit on this Twitch shit. Some of y'all niggas is, I ain't gonna lie, y'all be farming subs on this bitch. Y'all going crazy. I ain't gonna lie, y'all niggas is beyond OnlyFans hoes how y'all be on this bitch farming subs. That shit tough. I don't know who made that a thing, but this shit is, bro, Twitch is so oversaturated. I don't know. Bro, it's like, god damn. How do you fit in as a new streamer? Tough. Everybody doing IRLs and shit. Like, bro, nigga, my life too chill. I don't go outside. I don't go nowhere. And it's gonna make a lot of y'all niggas have to compete. Feel like y'all gotta compete. Bro, you need to just sit and do you. Cause I'm telling you, if you ain't a part of these groups with these big ass streaming teams and shit, then don't set those expectations on yourself with all this extra shit. This Twitch shit is crazy. What I mean by farming subs, I'm not talking about like niggas trying hard. Like, people gonna get subs regardless. But you do got niggas. This shit is crazy, man. I told y'all, I feel like Bill Russell.
There's also a couple clips talking about everyone calling So a unk and So having a problem with that. And I also think a lot of this is interesting because So is a YouTuber first, right? and I've had this conversation on this podcast a lot of like the YouTuber to streamer pipeline, but so is one of the few individuals that again hasn't really embraced this streaming pivot as much as others have. So a lot of these things is very foreign to a YouTuber first person. You know what I'm saying? Streaming for a shit ton of hours, asking for subs, you know, not putting on a character, because he even recorded a reaction video within the stream, because, you know, a lot of people do reaction content on their streams. And the way So went about it is completely different from how your favorite streamer does it. Like, your favorite streamer goes into React, and it's just the seamless flow of consciousness, I guess, for lack of a better term, where everything is just flowing, everything is just natural. So literally, like, hold on, chat. I gotta hit record right here. I gotta get into YouTube mode, do my intro. And he gets into a whole different character when he's doing reacts. And then once he stops pressing record, he turns into a whole nother different character just for the stream. And I think that is that's just an interesting way that like YouTubers think of content, specifically the ones that go into streaming, that I think is very, very interesting. But after a couple days of streaming, Soul's already banned. So is already banned, chat. And this is the clip that people are speculating as to why he got banned. So let's go ahead and watch it.
I have no problem with gays, bisexuals, trainees. Bro, every gay person I met throughout my life, if it was it was probably only like 2 gay niggas in my school when I was in high school. They didn't bother nobody. They just hung with girls and shit. Y'all know how gay niggas is. They didn't bother nobody. I ain't never seen a trainee in real life or transgender or nothing. And bisexual girls and lesbians, bro, I was cool with a lot of the dykes on the team. We was all trying to fuck hoes. Shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm not laughing because, hey, he shouldn't have said what he said. But again, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. The non-chronically online person, they go online. Mind you, this is a lot of people in real life. I'm just keeping a stack. They don't know what the banned words are. They don't know what the TOS words are. There may be some certain things that they've said in the past that they don't know is like frowned upon now. I'm gonna be honest with you. One that I've recently was like, whoa, we not saying that anymore, is like y'all know I say pause, right? But I always thought another like synonym of pause was no. Y'all know what I'm saying here. It was something that I think Anthony Edwards got fined for in recent years as well. Or was it Anthony Edwards? It might have been Cole Anthony or something. Like, they said a joke and they said, you know, it was a pause-worthy moment, and they said no. And I personally didn't know that was like, oh, are we not saying that anymore? We're not saying that, like, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. And I think the whatchamacallit, the word that he used to describe transsexuals is another word that a lot of people who aren't online a lot don't know that is a frown upon word now. I feel like.
Yeah, I used to fuck some of their hoes. You know what I'm saying? Dykes. We had our whole team was dykes when I was in high school. All them bitches was gay. They was all cool. Nobody has never had a problem with anything that has to do with that. Until they start weaponizing. I have no problem.
I'm glad Fearbuck cut it off when he did. I am glad Fearbuck cut it off when he did. But I believe he's actually unbanned now. Very shortly after this, Solluminati was banned on Twitch. And I think this is today. He is contemplating already leaving Twitch for a kick.
For some of y'all that don't know, I just recently got banned on Twitch. This is the most love and just chill I have ever been in throughout my whole YouTube career. It was no drama. It was so peaceful. It was all love. And I still got banned. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't feel safe on Twitch. I don't. I can't. And I dropped videos about this shit in the past. I dropped it on Twitch. So I was telling y'all, like, you have so much freedom to do stuff on other platforms and stuff. And then on Twitch, it's like I can't even. Bro, I was harmless. Y'all seen it. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. And people keep clipping shit thinking of what I did. Bro, I can't say. They talking about TOS and certain words you can't say. Like, bro, my nigga, I didn't do nothing, man. I didn't do shit. Nigga, I'm driving, nigga. I told y'all niggas on TikTok, nigga, I almost crashed. Aiden text me. I said, what the fuck? Aiden text me, said, bro, you banned. Like, what the fuck? Of course Aiden text me. Aiden, how you know before everybody? I found out from you, nigga. Now listen, the most important thing I want to do is keep this streaming shit going. If I'm getting banned for just chilling, like, bro, I can't say nothing. Like the alphabet, the LGBTQ shit, bro, I didn't diss them at all. Y'all heard everything. Bro, it was so much love on Twitch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. To say you didn't do nothing, just thinking about it from a TOS enforcer, you definitely did something. And I think it's a case of like intent versus what you actually did. Those words are TOS. Okay, I'm sorry. Those words are TOS. And Twitch definitely has the right to enforce their TOS the way they deem fit. However, if So is going to continue to talk like this, it probably is better for him to move on to Kick. I'm going to be honest with you. And I think for So specifically, it may not even be the worst move in the world. Just from the fact that his audience is so loyal. Mind you, again, this is the same dude that hasn't streamed for 5 years, came back in 10K off rip without even posting about it on YouTube. I think he just went live on Twitch, posted on Twitter, and he got 10K in there. I think his numbers actually wouldn't go down like crazy if he went to Kick. And again, I think he's just one of those people that I don't even think So is a type to do like insanely degenerate content, right? I don't think he's gonna turn into like one of those like Jack Doherty streamers or anything like that. But I do think he's a person that will not change the way that he talks. And if this is just the way Soluminati talks, he probably should go to Kick. But
some of y'all that don't know.
I think his return is just. I think it's interesting how when you are a platform, when you're not a platform, I think it's interesting when you are a person with so much influence that taking breaks low key is a way to elongate your career. Right? I think for a certain ilk of creators, taking breaks is one of the best things you can genuinely do for your career because it makes your career more sustainable and much longer. Right? Because you have reached a level where it don't matter if you take 4, 5, 6 months off. When you drop, people will wait. And I think in the streaming world, Kai Cenat is actually on that level right now. I think Speed is on that level right now. I think if Kai took a year break, when he comes back, there's going to be 80, 90K people in that first stream off rip. Right? But I think a lot of creators don't have that luxury, and you really got to earn that shit. You really got to earn that shit to have that luxury of taking a break, and when you come back, there's going to be, for So, because on YouTube, he has the same effect. When he takes a break, he be taking long-ass breaks. But the first video he drops in 5, 6 months, there's going to be 500, 600K just waiting because he's the bro. He's the guy. He's so entertaining that when he drops, I'm going to watch whenever he drops. I think that is a privilege right there. That is a privilege that Soluminati has earned in this content shit. I do wonder what his motivations are. I do wonder what his motivations are when it comes to returning to streaming, because I always wonder what YouTubers who, for lack of a better term, fell off or just stopped creating content, what they do after the fact, right? Because I think there's really like two things you can do. A is either you made so much money in your prime that you can either just straight up retire, or you can be self-sufficient for like 5 to 6 years off of the money that you made before you gotta really start working again. Or B, you just become like this desperate ass dude that doesn't know how to revive their career. You haven't been in the workforce for years. You know, even if you were in school, that degree, you haven't used it in 6-7 years. So, you know, in the efforts of you trying to make a living, you just try to trend jack on whatever's popping right now because you got to do something to pay the bills. And I do wonder for Soluminati, like, did he make enough money in his prime to just, you know, chill and he's just doing this for fun? Or is this a case of, hey, man, funds is kind of running dry? You know what I'm saying? Like, funds is kind of running dry. And I got to make a move right now. I see all these popping motherfuckers streaming. Is it time for me to stream? Is it time for me to get back into the content game and start streaming? Because I do feel like a lot of YouTubers have been using the streaming wave to gain a second wind in their career. And I think AMP, I wouldn't say they needed it to regain clout, but they were definitely a part of that YouTuber to streamer pipeline. And then I think there's this new generation of like the old head YouTubers that were late to it, trying to get into it. You know, I think AMP they were pioneers and they saw the potential before it became big. And then there's this other wave of YouTubers that saw it become big, was late to the party, and they're trying to get into it right now. Some have failed, some have succeeded. I think DDG is a perfect example of a success use case for this. I think Deshay is a perfect example of a bad use case for this, right? I think FouseyTube, he was low-key a success story in this as well. Sneeko was a success story in this, but he was low-key a pioneer. He was a pioneer level low-key. And I wonder if so is like, oh, Zeus and Bilu, I think, is a success story in all of this. Jadeon, I don't know what Jadeon be doing nowadays. I think he just went back into regular YouTube. But I think so is another one of those dudes that, you know, let's try the streaming shit out and see how it works.